Well, welcome to episode 2, Ryan and Logan Watt. This is another special episode for me because this father and son duo let me into their shop on a moment's notice to help me with my show. Let's start with Dad. Ryan has been racing in Northeast modified ranks and sprint cars for years. I've seen him firsthand at Grandview and Bridgeport. I became a fan of Ryan's when he started mentoring my nephew Jesse with his sportsman ride. Ryan is not only a dirt star to me for his many victories, but because of how he took my nephew, a novice racer, under his wing and was there for him to answer questions, help with setups, and even change a tire or two on a pit stop. Ryan even went so far as to agree to this interview on a Saturday morning with little notice. Ryan's son Logan is my other guest today. Logan is an up-and-comer cutting his teeth in the quarter midget ranks. Logan is a dirt star to me because he is a young guy getting out there in the real world, getting experience, even though he does like his video games. When you are at Grandview Speedway, Bridgeport, Big Diamond, or anywhere on the East Coast, look out for the 14W of Ryan and the 4M of Logan. So here it is, Dirt Stars and Slot Cars, Episode 2, The Watts. Okay, how many years have you guys been racing?
I started in 97, so this will be my 23rd year or 24th year racing for me.
And I started 5 years ago. I started in 2000
Well, it was 7 years ago. You started when you were 5, and you're 12 now.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right, your first car number, and was there any significance to that number?
For me, my first car number was a number 8, and really no significance other than with the first car we purchased, that was the number that was on it.
And my number is 4M. Basically, it stands for for mom because my mom and stuff like that.
It was for your grandmother.
Yeah, for grandma. Yeah.
That's great. Okay, and your current car number, and any significance to that?
So my current car number being 14. When we were racing, we started with 8. I stuck with 8 a little bit, but one of the cars that we had purchased then had the used body that came with it was a number 14 on it that Dwayne Howard had driven up at Syracuse. And the body I was running got tore up. We ended up throwing nose panels on, and actually we had a pretty rough year that year. And that race that we put on was a big 50-lapper. We made it through the race. We had a pretty good finish, a top 5 finish or so, and we ended up sticking with 14. Plus, it's also my birthday is April 14th, so we decided to stick with the 14.
And my number is still the same 4M because for grandma and stuff like that. So yeah.
Great. Full-time, part-time racer?
Part-time racer.
Full-time.
Full-time, okay. And a career highlight?
I got a bunch of them. I mean, winning the dirt show at Bridgeport in 2017 or 18 or whatever that was, and winning the cold cracker this year at Big Diamond was another one.
Really none for me. Which ones did I win this year?
You won a bunch of races, but how about your race at last year at Echo?
Oh yeah, Echo last year. I won all 4 of my heat races from the back, from 7th, 8th, or 6th. And I started on the pole in every one of them except for the World, I think. And I ended up winning my first regional there and stuff like that, so pretty cool.
Right. And then I go the opposite end. How about a low light, a career low light? That you bounce back from?
Not sure. I mean, there's been a couple of them. There's times where you go a while and you don't win a race or whatever. It's a rough season, but trying to think of a low one. I don't know.
That's great. That's great.
I don't know either.
Okay. Now, this is for my audience, hopefully, that will come around here. Married or single?
Married.
I'm single.
And then I know, Ryan, you've been a great help for my nephew, Jesse. So any advice that you have for anyone trying to get into racing?
Well, definitely anybody that's trying to get into racing is listen to anybody that will give you advice. Just listen to what they have to say, take in everything they have to say, and also just pay attention to what's going on around you and try to learn as much as you can. Don't get frustrated when things don't go right. Things will change. You put more effort into it, the more reward you get out of it.
Yeah. I had 2 guys come up in my racing season, and Sam and Travis Sherman. They really helped me a lot, and we started to travel a little bit more, and I got better and better. So, yeah, thanks to him.
Okay, great. And what's dear to my heart here, have you ever raced slot cars?
I did race slot cars. We actually ran up in Birdsboro. They had a league that we used to run on Saturdays or Sundays for a little bit, but then we actually had a 124 scale slot car track in my basement. It was an 8-lane track that we had a little league when I was a teenager. My dad actually, we purchased it and ran for quite a few years till we ended up selling it once I started racing the Sportsman. So we ran slot cars there and did a little bit with HOs a little bit, but not a whole lot.
Yeah, when I was young, like 4 or 5 maybe, I went slot karting with my dad and stuff like that.
Okay, great. And then my final question for both of you. Your upcoming race schedule, and then if you have any sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
So we look at pretty much following the Short Track Super Series again this year for the South Series, maybe a couple North races. Going to run Bridgeport as a regular, but maybe not for the points. Be able to jump around and hit some other races. Looking like maybe try to do the Bristol deal. That'd be a lot of fun to try that in a modified. So we're definitely going to jump around some.
Yeah, we're gonna jump around too. We're gonna try to go out to Indiana and stuff like that. We're gonna try to follow the whole like regionals and national things for quarter midgets, and try to see what we get in points, top 10 points. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much for welcoming me into your shop. I really appreciate this, and let's go race some slot cars.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
All right. So 14:59 for the total 5 laps, and at 2:31. 2:31, and you were number 1 in your trip here. All right. Whoa. 12:24. 2:09. And you were number 1. All right, thank you. Thanks again to Ryan and Logan for being my first father and son guests and welcoming my crew into their workshop. I would also like to thank my wife and kids for all their help making this show happen. Please remember to like and comment on the video and subscribe to the channel. If you are a dirt star and would like to have a crack at setting fast time, contact me and I will come to you. Come back next time for episode 3, A Special Family Friend. See you then.